Mr. Richard had almost everything a man could ever want: money, luxury, comfort, a big family. But not the one thing he truly desired: a son. He had 5 daughters, billions in the bank, and properties scattered across Nigeria, but no male child to carry on his name. And now, as death slowly drew closer, that empty space in his heart felt like a wound that refused to heal. His sickness came out of nowhere. One month he was walking into boardrooms, signing deals, making decisions like the powerful man he was. The next month, his hands trembled whenever he tried to hold a pen. He couldn't walk properly anymore. Even going from his bedroom to the bathroom felt like a battle. Doctors said it was aggressive cancer, cold, unforgiving, and fast. They gave him 6 months to live if God was kind. His wife, Victoria, acted like the perfect caring woman. She called top doctors, scheduled hospital visits, and held his hand in public. But in private, her eyes were cold, sharp, and calculating. She had been waiting for this moment for years. When Mr. Richard became too weak to take care of himself, Victoria made her move. She said they needed someone at home to look after him, someone to feed him, bathe him, and watch him slowly fade. But she was clever. She didn't hire a trained nurse or a professional caregiver. Those people were too smart. They asked questions. They noticed things. Instead, she searched for someone desperate, someone harmless, someone who didn't understand the world she was about to enter. And that was how Gloria came into their lives. Gloria was just 22 years old, fresh from Ajagunal, one of Lagos's poorest neighborhoods. She had lived in the city for less than a year, squeezed into one tiny room with her mother and 2 younger brothers. Her mother sold oranges by the roadside, barely making enough for food. So when Gloria heard about a housemaid job in a rich man's home, she didn't think twice. She had no experience, no training. She had never worked in a big house before, never served wealthy people, never even used the fancy appliances she later saw in the Richard mansion. She needed the money so badly that she lied during the interview, saying she had worked for 2 other families. Victoria knew she was lying, and that was exactly what she wanted. "You will take care of my husband," Victoria told her on the first day. Her voice sounded sweet, but her eyes were sharp like a blade. "He is very sick. He cannot walk well. He cannot eat by himself. You will do everything for him. Do you understand?" "Yes, Ma," Gloria replied quickly, grateful to have any job at all. "If anything happens to him," Victoria continued, leaning closer, "if he falls, if he chokes, if anything at all goes wrong, you will be responsible. Do you understand that too?" Gloria nodded, but fear gripped her chest. She didn't know why Mrs. Richard was saying these things, but she pushed the worry aside. Her family needed her. She couldn't afford to lose the job. The Richard mansion was massive: 10 bedrooms, a swimming pool, and shiny marble floors that Gloria was afraid to walk on because she thought she might slip and break something. The first time she saw Mr. Richard, he was sitting quietly in his bedroom, staring out the window. He looked exhausted, older than his age, and completely defeated. "Good morning, sir," Gloria said softly. He turned slowly, his eyes dull and tired. "Who are you?" "My name is Gloria, sir," she said. "I'm here to help you." He nodded weakly and turned back to the window. That first day, Gloria realized how sick he truly was. His hands shook when she tried to feed him. He could barely stand. Sometimes he sat for hours, staring into empty space without saying a word. But as days became weeks, something changed. Mr. Richard started talking to her. First simple comments like, "The food is good today," or "Thank you, Gloria." Then longer conversations followed. He shared stories about his businesses, his past, and his regrets. And Gloria listened. That was all she knew how to do. She didn't judge him. She didn't see him as billions of naira. She saw a lonely, dying man who desperately needed kindness. And for him, that meant everything. One evening, he held her hand gently. "Gloria," he whispered, "do you know what it feels like to have everything and nothing at the same time?" She shook her head slowly. "I have 5 daughters," he said, eyes distant. "Vanessa, Sophie, Ruth, Cynthia, and Nora. Beautiful girls. But I have no son." Gloria didn't know how to respond, so she stayed quiet. "My father told me before he died that a man without a son is incomplete," Mr. Richard murmured. I didn't understand then. I understand now. When I die, everything I built will scatter. My name will disappear. Tears filled his eyes. Gloria felt her chest tighten with sympathy. The doctor said I have only a few months left, he whispered. Maybe less. I have one wish, Gloria. Just one. I want a son before I die. Gloria froze. She pulled her hand back slowly. Sir, I know it sounds crazy, he said quickly. I know it's impossible. But you're the only person in this house who treats me like a human being. Everyone else is waiting for me to die. Gloria stood up, heart pounding. She didn't know what to think. This man was offering something that could lift her entire family out of poverty, or destroy her completely. But before that moment makes sense, you need to understand the people around him. The family that should have loved him, but only loved his money. Victoria was a snake in designer clothes. For 25 years she played the perfect wife while secretly counting the days, until she would inherit everything. She gave him 5 daughters not out of love, but because each child gave her more access to his businesses and accounts. Now that he was dying, her plan was unfolding perfectly. Hire a clueless maid, wait for something to go wrong, and blame the girl when he finally passed. Then came the daughters, each one more selfish than the last. Vanessa, the eldest at 28, had a greedy boyfriend named Kelvin who constantly asked, "When is the old man going to die?" They planned to run away to Cyprus with the inheritance. Sophie, 26, lived for Instagram likes. She imagined headlines like "Billionaire's daughter inherits fortune," and dreamed of becoming a social media sensation after his death. Ruth, 24, was her mother's loyal puppet. Whatever Victoria wanted, Ruth supported. Winning mattered more to her than her father's life. Cynthia, 22, wanted to destroy her father's empire and replace it with a wig and nail business. She believed she would become a big entrepreneur after he died. And Nora, just 20, was fighting stage 4 cancer. She was dying too, but even in her pain, she still dreamed of money. She believed if she inherited enough, she could buy miracle medicine from abroad. None of them loved Mr. Richard. Not truly. They were simply waiting for him to die. And now Gloria, a simple, struggling girl from Ajagunal, found herself in the middle of this mansion filled with vultures, being asked by a dying billionaire to give him what his money could never buy, a son. Gloria tried her best with the job, but Mr. Richard quickly noticed she had no experience. The first week was a disaster. She burned his breakfast twice. She gave him medication at the wrong time. And once, while helping him walk, she almost made them both fall, because she didn't know how to support his weight. Any other boss would have fired her immediately. But there was something about Gloria, her sincerity, her effort, her genuine heart, that calmed him. When she burned the eggs, she apologized so sincerely that he couldn't be angry. When she mixed his pills, she cried and promised to write everything down carefully, and she did. She created a notebook with times and dosages, checking it like her life depended on it. She was humble, respectful, quiet, tireless. She never complained, even when the workload was killing her. She worked from dawn till midnight, her hands swollen from scrubbing, her back aching from bending, but she kept going. Slowly, Mr. Richard began depending on her. Not because she was skilled, but because she truly cared. And in a house full of people waiting for him to die, that small kindness felt priceless. The more time he spent with her, the more he looked forward to seeing her. Her presence brightened his days. When she fed him lunch, he asked her questions just to keep her near. For the first time in years, someone in his house made him feel like a human being again. But the daughters were watching, and they didn't like it. Vanessa started first. One day, while Gloria was cleaning Mr. Richard's room, Vanessa yelled, "Gloria, come here." Gloria ran downstairs. "Yes, Ma." Vanessa, lying lazily on the couch, didn't even look up. "Get me the remote." Gloria saw the remote sitting right beside her hand. "Ma, it's right there." "I said get it for me." Vanessa's voice was sharp and full of pride. Gloria swallowed her pride and handed it to her. Vanessa snatched it and waved her away like she was an annoying fly. Soon, this became her new hobby, ordering Gloria to do useless things. Close the curtains. Bring water. Adjust the AC. Open the door. Close the door again. If Gloria ever hesitated, Vanessa snapped her fingers in her face. Sophie was even worse. She made Gloria set up ring lights and camera stands for her TikTok and Instagram videos. She would make Gloria repeat tasks 3 or 4 times just to show power. Then there was Ruth. She would tell Gloria to make tea for her mother. 2 spoons of sugar, not too hot. But when Gloria brought it, Victoria would taste it, slap the cup away, and accuse her of trying to kill her. Hot tea often splashed on Gloria's legs while Ruth smirked in the corner. Cynthia, the craziest of them all, insulted Gloria every chance she got. One evening, while Gloria was feeding Mr. Richard, Cynthia walked in and wrinkled her nose. "Daddy, why is this girl always here? She's probably a gold digger." "Cynthia, that's enough," Mr. Richard snapped. But Cynthia never stopped. She called Gloria names: runs girl, husband snatcher, village rat. Each insult sank deeper than the last. Nora, the sick one, also contributed in her own way. She vomited daily from chemotherapy and always called only Gloria to clean it, never the other maids. Gloria cleaned everything quietly, holding back her gag reflex. Nora never thanked her. Not even once. Everything fell on Gloria. Cooking, cleaning, serving the daughters, caring for Mr. Richard. She worked endless hours. Her body hurt constantly. She hadn't visited her family in weeks. But she couldn't quit. Poverty held her by the neck. One night, after finishing all her chores, she finally bathed with warm water to ease her muscles. Her hair was still damp when she knocked on Mr. Richard's door to give him his medication. "Come in," he said weakly. She walked in with the pills. He looked at her with an expression she didn't understand. "Your medication, sir," she said softly. He took the pills, but instead of giving back the glass, he held on to it and stared at her for a moment. "Sit down," he said, patting the bed. Gloria hesitated. "Sir, I should go. It's late." "Please. Just for a few minutes." She sat at the edge of the bed and he asked suddenly, "How did you end up working here? You're young. You should be in school." Gloria's throat tightened. No one had ever asked her that. "I'm still in school, sir. University. But I had to pause because we couldn't afford the fees. My mother sells oranges. My brothers dropped out of secondary school. This job, it's the only way I can help." Mr. Richard nodded slowly. "So you're doing all this for them?" "Yes, sir. I know I make mistakes, but I'm trying. I need this job. Please don't fire me." "Fire you," he said softly. "Gloria, you're the only person who treats me like I matter. My wife can't stand me. My daughters look at me like I'm already dead. But you care." Gloria's eyes burned with tears. "You're beautiful," he added quietly. "Not just on the outside. Your heart is beautiful." Gloria looked away, not knowing what to say. Something unspoken passed between them. Something dangerous, confusing, but real. Mr. Richard wasn't blind. He saw everything. The insults, the wicked tasks, the way they used Gloria like a slave. And even though he was dying, he was still the man who built an empire. One morning he asked for a family meeting. Victoria walked in with a fake smile. The daughters followed, dressed in expensive clothes, looking annoyed. They had no idea what was coming. Mr. Richard sat in his wheelchair at the center. Gloria stood silently behind him. "I called you all here to talk," he said. "About what, Daddy?" Sophie asked without lifting her eyes from her phone. "About Gloria." Everyone turned toward her. Victoria's voice was cold. "What about her?" "I know how you treat her," he said firmly. "The insults. The wicked errands. It ends today." Vanessa scoffed. "Daddy, she's a maid. That's her job." "She is not your slave," Mr. Richard snapped. "From today, none of you will order her around. She is here to take care of me." Cynthia laughed. "So now she's special?" "Yes," he said without hesitation. "She is special to me. And if any of you harm her, forget about receiving a single naira from my will." Pandemonium broke out. Victoria pointed at Gloria. "What did you do to my husband?" "Nothing, Ma," Gloria whispered. "Sit down." Mr. Richard barked. No one moved. His voice softened, but carried steel. "I am old. I am weak. But I am still the man who built everything you enjoy. I will not watch you torture the only person who treats me with kindness. Silence. Then Victoria slowly sat down, her face hard. The daughters followed. After the meeting, Gloria tried to thank him, but he waved her off. I should have done that long ago. But the damage was done. They hated her even more now. Over the next weeks, he began teaching Gloria about business, real estate, and strategy. She was naturally brilliant. 9 distinctions in WAC, straight A's in Nico. She absorbed everything like a sponge. You could run this empire, he told her. You're smarter than all my daughters combined. She laughed shyly. Sir, I'm just a maid. You understand struggle. That's worth more than a degree. Gloria felt something warm grow inside her. For the first time, someone believed in her. And slowly, she began caring for him too. Not because of his wealth, but because he treated her like a human being. One night, he took her hand again. Gloria, I have a dying wish. Her heart pounded. I want a son. Someone to carry my name. Someone who will inherit everything I built. Gloria pulled her hand away, shocked. Sir, I can't. I know what I'm asking, he said. But you're the only person I trust. My wife wants me dead. My daughters want my money. You care. Your wife will kill me, Gloria whispered. If she finds out. She won't touch you, he said. I will protect you. How? She cried. You are sick. You can't even walk. He was silent for a long moment. You're right. I am weak. But my money is not. My lawyers are not. And if you help me, if you give me this son, I will take care of you and your family for life. Gloria stood up, pacing. The idea was insane. Dangerous. But the image of her mother struggling under the sun, her brothers dropping out of school, it broke her. Why do you need a son so badly? She asked. Because the women in this house don't deserve what I built, he said bitterly. A son will protect my name. It was selfish, but she understood it. I need time, Gloria whispered. Take all the time you need. But time was something they didn't have. 3 days later, Gloria gave him her answer. Yes. That night changed everything. Weeks passed. At first, no one suspected anything. But soon, Gloria began vomiting every morning. She felt tired, weak, dizzy. Ruth noticed first. She ran to her mother, excited. Mommy, I think Gloria is pregnant. Victoria's eyes widened. What? I heard her vomiting. She's been sleeping more. She's pregnant. Victoria's face twisted with anger. So she has been sleeping with my husband. The next day, Victoria forced her to take a pregnancy test. Gloria had no choice. She locked herself in the bathroom, took the test, and when she saw 2 lines, her hands shook. Positive. She was carrying Mr. Richard's child. Victoria dragged Gloria into the living room. Look at this, she shouted, waving the test. This girl is pregnant. She has been sleeping with your dying father. The daughters erupted in insults. Before Gloria could speak, the sound of a rolling wheelchair filled the room. Mr. Richard appeared, eyes blazing. What is going on here? Your maid is pregnant. Victoria screamed. Mr. Richard looked at Gloria, then back at them. Yes, he said calmly. The baby is mine. Silence crushed the room. I begged Gloria to do this, he said. She didn't seduce me. She didn't trap me. I asked her. Because I wanted a son. Victoria looked like she might faint. You're insane, she whispered. Maybe, he said. But if any of you harm her or this baby, you are all out of my will. He stared each of them down. From that moment, Gloria was no longer just a maid. She was their enemy. They wanted her gone. Even dead. One night, Gloria rushed into his room shaking. Sir, I can't stay here anymore. They want to kill me. I can feel it. Mr. Richard wanted to protect her. But he was trapped in a dying body. The baby was only 3 weeks old. They didn't even know if it was a boy or girl yet. But one thing was clear. He loved Gloria. And that wasn't the end of the story. But drop part 2 and where you're watching from in the comments so we can do a special shout out to you. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button, so you will be the first to see the twists in part 2.